No esperes que el éxito toque tu puerta. Sal a buscarlo. Believe in you.
Mi gente, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos acá. Regreso con Believe in You por latinoinc.com con nuestras invitadas del día, Jennifer, Vanessa y Frances Prado.
Hola.
Mini inventoras, inventora grande. Bienvenidas a nuestro show de hoy. Gracias, Frances, por aceptar la invitación. Tenemos varios meses tratando de coordinar que Frances venga al show, pero esta es una mujer muy ocupada. She's a very busy woman, traveling all over the United States, viajando a todos los Estados Unidos por esta invención que tienen frente a mí que se llama Hanging Secrets.
Yes. And you know, you mentioned hanging secrets, and never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I was going to be an inventor. Never. You know, as you know, I have a full-time job, and hanging secrets is my side hustle. And it's become my passion, and now it's taken on a whole different level because now I have the opportunity, again, thanks to Laura Cruz, to teach young girls and boys how to become inventors and how to grow their creativity and discover their talents, because everybody has talents. The key is to discover them. You know that.
Oh my God, yes, all the time. I love the diamonds in the rough. That's what I love about entrepreneurship is discovering the talent in people and giving them the opportunity to bloom.
Yes.
You know, to put it out there and to live their dream, because it's all about our dreams. At the end of the day, anything you think and that you imagine is because you want to bring it to life. You want to birth it.
Right.
So I want to hear what these two young ladies want to birth. What is it that they want to bring to life? Just like you had your opportunity. So tell me a little bit, Frances, about how Hanging Secrets was born. You said that you have a full-time job. You are an executive. You're in management.
I'm a manager for Costco for the past 23 years. And I was working through my emptiness syndrome. My son was in Afghanistan. My daughter was off to college. My husband was working a 10-hour shift. And I specifically remember asking myself, Frances, what are you going to do with all this extra time on your hands? I said, girl, you better start cleaning and organizing your house. And I started in my bedroom. I pulled out the drawer, and my bras were a mess. And I said, you know what? That was my aha moment. Every inventor, you will always ask, what was your aha moment?
Yes.
That was my aha moment. I said, you know what? There has to be a better way. My bras were getting crushed. I had my daily routine. I'd get my bras, throw them on the bed, search what I needed for, get them, toss them back, and crush them and put them back in the drawer.
Yes.
Run back and forth to the closet, and even sometimes pulling out a bra that was already damaged and crushed and still had the price tag on it. And that's when it really hurt. Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
It's crushed, and I haven't
And
even
it's
worn it.
new.
And it's
Yes.
new. So, you know, I brought, so you could see, this is my first sketch in 2009. It's a hand sketch. It's sort of like a first grader did this.
Wow.
You know,
I love it.
so from here, after a couple of this hand sketch, and then I created a prototype, and that's how we were able to come up.
How did you do the prototype, and who did the prototype?
I went to Costco, and they had those body bathing suits. And I went in there and I told them, you know what, my daughter's working on a science project. Can I get a few of the bodies? And they said, sure. So I got a few bodies. I went home. I cut out the bra area. And I had my sister over, and she helped me sew the bottom base. And if you look at the prototype, the girls have seen the prototype. If you look at the prototype, it cost me maybe about $20 to make. Because as an inventor, you know, what looks good on paper, you have to make sure it actually functions.
Right.
So the next step is creating a prototype.
So once you had that aha moment, you went to town. You were determined.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
going to make this happen.
Because you get a taste of it. You say, oh my gosh, you know, you're creating something, so you want to follow it through. And I think it has something to do with my work, because at work, you have a problem, you solve it. So based off of my experience at work, I see how I transferred my skills there to Hanging Secrets.
And I was just talking about transferable skills in my previous segment, is to do an assessment of your skills, because we were talking about the different, what are the different types of jobs that single moms can immediately do.
Sure.
And one of those was create your own economy. Right. Come up with your own ideas, or do Uber, or do virtual assisting. I said, but you have to have an assessment of your skills that you can transfer onto something else, because My career was interior design.
Oh, wow.
And nothing to do with radio or what I'm doing now, or then moving into the nonprofit sector. But because I had the design ability, I had the eye already, the trained eye, and the skills in design, I transferred that into what I do now. And I do a lot of social media content creation, content management.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
Very
so-
nice.
Yeah, so
Very
now
nice.
that's a transferable skill from all the renderings and all the maquetas that I had to do, architectural,
Sure.
designs. So with you, because you were already in an environment that even though you were in management, you were still surrounded by all sorts of products, and that must
Right.
be like being in a candy store.
Sure, and it's solving problems. It's also being efficient. I wasn't being efficient, grabbing all my balls, throwing them on the bed, and putting them back, running back and forth. I can give you an example. At my house, if you have a cup of coffee, you could stand in one position and make yourself a cup of coffee. The spoon, the coffee, all is in one area. And sometimes you go to someone else's house and where's the sugar? Over there. Where's the coffee? And you have to give a whole circle. So I find myself trying to be as efficient as I possibly can. And there you go again with transferable skills. Another thing is teaching. We teach what we learn to our employees to grow the company. You have to teach. So it's not something that you take these skills and you keep them to yourselves. No, the
Right.
beauty part is teaching someone else, letting someone
Part
else.
of their dreams. How old are you?
I'm 13.
And you are?
I'm 11.
Oh my God!
We have to start them young.
Babies, yes.
They have to start
How
young.
Exciting! And you're enrolled in this new program that Frances. Are you leading the workshop?
I'm leading the workshop, but it's based off of with LBM Academy. In fact, it was Laura Cruz who approached me and said she had this idea. Frances, she had participated with me for about a year and a half helping me with my pitches, taking photos. And it was about November, and she approached me and she says, Frances, I have this idea. What about if you become one of the instructors or teachers to Kidventors? I said, you know what? I love that idea. Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about what Laura does. Laura has like an academy training in like all sorts of skills. Is it for adults and children?
It's mostly for children, depending on the age. I believe it just starts from 8 to about 17 or 18. And she has modeling classes. She has music classes, piano classes, personal growth. I was enrolled in her personal growth.
Okay.
Because as being an inventor, you think all you have to do is invent something. No, you need to be able to do interviews, take nice photos. So she was helping me with personal growth because I was considered myself a very shy person. And if you're an inventor, you have to be out there.
Yes.
You have to be
You have
out
to
there.
hustle.
You have to hustle. And
Yes.
Laura helped me also with Spanish because I was getting interviewed in Spanish, and I wanted to make sure I was speaking proper Spanish and having the opportunities to utilize both markets, Spanish and English. So I wanted to make the connection there, and I just wanted to give the best that I possibly could of myself. And Laura helped me do that.
So public speaking definitely
Yes.
is a very critical. It's good that they're getting, that they see what it is to be on radio, and they saw a little bit of the behind the scenes, the prepping as well as the prepping that I'm sure that you did with
With
them. And so you brought something, Vanessa, and what is that you have there?
Well, I brought my project, which I'm working on. They're my bags that I made throughout this journey with Frances. And I also brought a piece of art that I did the first class with her.
What is it? Let me see.
So in order for me to get to know the young ladies, I asked them to draw because I wanted to know them. It was the first time I've ever met them, so I wanted to know a little bit about them. And so I asked them, here's some colors, be creative, write what you want to do on there, and draw what you want. And what I noticed quickly about Vanessa was that she's very detailed in how she's able to keep all this in the line. She's very analytical because she took her time, and she was just very detailed, but she was very shy too.
So what is the board represent? What did you convey here? What was your messaging? Were you trying to convey your vision, or is it about you?
Well, it's about me. I like doing art sometimes. When I get bored, I like dancing. I like dressing up or putting makeup on. And like being creative with the stuff I have around me.
So I see that you wrote this here, dancing, costume, face painting. You have a design here of the bag, and then you have a hashtag. You have a couple of hashtags.
Yes.
Hashtag Bravo bag. Is that the name of
Yes.
your bag?
Yeah.
So you already had a name, and then future inventor. So you already wanted to be an inventor. And then hashtag be brave.
Yes.
Why be brave?
Well, Frances asked me, should we put some quotes on your bag? And I was like, the first quote that came up to my mind was like, be brave, because you always gotta have like when you're shy or talking in front of someone, you gotta just step up and just talk out.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Show them
coming out of that.
your aha moment. What was your aha moment on how you came up with this bag?
Yes. Why
Explain
the
to-
bag? What
explain to
happened?
Cecilia.
So one time my mom came home, right? So she went to the store and bought this crop top, which is this, and I didn't like it because I
Was it for you?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I didn't like it, so I was like, what should I do? So I cut it up right here because it was too long, and I just sewed it right here and right here down, and I made a bag.
Let me show. Look,
So
she
you
made
turned
it.
the
She
top
turned
into a bag.
That's her aha moment.
Wow, I love it. How clever. It's like repurposing.
Yes.
Look at how cute.
And then I tested out.
Wait, you haven't seen what she's come up with over here.
I tested this one out, and it holds like 2 gallons of milk.
Because it has that stretchy
Whoa.
material.
Yeah.
So it's strong.
Yes.
Okay, so what else do you have there?
So these are the bags. I bought more material, and this is one of them. I put the logo Bravo bag, and also another quote, be positive. And
Let me see.
Frances gave me an idea of putting like little bows on the sides.
I like that.
What we wanted to do, what we're teaching the girls is she knows exactly how much she paid for the material.
Mm-hmm.
She knows how much she used in material, her cost in material.
Uh-huh.
And we had extra material. I said, okay, sweetie, what are we going to do with this extra material? That's her shrink. So how can we make use
Look
of it?
how cute is that.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
And so she
Yes.
decided to put the bows on the bag. Another thing that what do we need to put on the back of the bag? What were we going to do on the back?
We're gonna put the same logo, but we're gonna put it in Spanish.
Inglés y español.
Sí.
Very nice.
We want them to utilize and capitalize on them being bilingual and
Yes,
connecting because we all
yes.
speak Spanish y queremos utilizar la bolsa de dos maneras.
And I love that you're teaching them cost of raw materials.
She knows. You want to
Yes.
show her your book?
Oh
that you
yes.
have? So every inventor gonna show her your book.
So like here, I have like a drawing of my bag.
Okay. And show it to the camera.
Oh, that's
So this is how it all starts, people.
Yes.
Very simple. Yes.
Like my drawing.
Uh-huh.
And I started in the classes. Frances told me to write like an item or like the how do you say it?
What you're working on, which
Yeah,
is
like-
your item.
Like my item is my bag, the brand is Bravo bag, the design is a crop top bag, and the lifestyle is like high end and casual.
Okay, so
So she-
you're already looking at what are the different categories that you can position it.
Yes.
Excellent. I love it. Wow. Bravo to you.
And tell her why it's Bravo bag. How we came up with
Yeah,
your
why?
brand.
Well, she said something about being brave, but Bravo came from brave.
No, it actually came from Jennifer. The first class, we were trying to make up a name for the brand, and she was like, "How about we put her last name Bravo and bag?" And that's how we came up with it.
Because her last name is Bravo.
Wow.
And that's another thing because,
Interesting.
you're throwing
Yes.
off ideas.
Yes.
And that's what I
Yes.
wanted the girls to work with each other. They're not in competition, they're collaborating
Yes.
and they're helping one another. And that's how the Bravo bag was discovered.
So that's the power of collaboration, which I'm a big proponent. Everybody knows that that's like my business model is all about collaboration, which is one reason why there's 3 of you here today as opposed to just, it could have been her, but I knew that she was also involved in this project, and I always love sharing my platform with youth, and because the future belongs to you guys, and I really love the program that she's involved in. I'm like, why not? Sometimes I disrupt it here a little bit, for our controllers, but But it's worth it. I want the public to get to see what our youth is doing, and it's like, si lo puedes soñar, lo puedes imaginar, lo puedes lograr. So if you can dream it, you can do it. You can achieve it. And you guys are a perfect example that it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It's not like what everybody thinks, that it's always like maybe technology or inventing the latest tech or the latest gadget. A lot of inventions are actually related to fashion. Very simple things, and this is a good example. One time I went to this meeting, and there was an engineering major, young lady, that she teaches classes in the summer, and for her to make it fun for the kids so that they would understand the importance of jumping into STEM fields, she taught them how to put lights on their apparel.
Oh, wow.
Because that's what engineers come up with. So all of those fun things that we see, from the little buttons like for the holidays or for Valentine's that light up,
or the
sneakers that have lights, engineers come up with that. So she would teach them how to put lights on their clothing.
That's awesome.
And that was one way for them to be excited, to get excited about jumping into, the STEM fields. So thank you for sharing, Vanessa. I love it. They're fashionable, they're cute, and I know that once you really get the wing of it, you're gonna take off with it. And young girls, you're gonna inspire other young girls to do the same, because you're inspiring them just by the fact that you took action and you enrolled in that class. So thank you.
And that you were brave.
Yes. Hashtag brave.
Be brave.
Yes, and Bravo Bags was born. And Jennifer, share your story.
Well, for me, I like singing. So when I started going into Frances' class, I told her, well, it was actually 2 decisions about being a designer, a fashion designer, or singing. But I actually like singing more than fashion designing more clothes. So she started telling me about, okay, write all your feelings. Well, actually, Miley Cyrus inspired me into taking out all my feelings from my heart and trying to write my own song. So this is my song.
So, writer, composer, singer, also. So is this your very first?
Yes. Sure. One of the things that we did with Jennifer
Boy
was
drama. I love the title.
It was so funny because I said, Mija, every day I want you to write a paragraph of how you're feeling in the morning. And she goes to me, Frances, I'm a little busy. But I remember her, I go, what were you talking to your grandma about? Boy drama. Like, okay, that's going to be our topic.
I love it.
We talked about boy drama.
At that age already, drama con los hombres.
And one of the things, in our first meeting, we also had to come up with her stage name. Mm-hmm. Explain to Cecilia how we came up with it.
My stage name is Jensby with Jennifer, Jen, which is half of Jennifer, and then my last name is Espinoza. Well, Jensby, Espinoza. So yeah,
I like it. It's kind of like the J-Lo. It's a combination of the A-Rod and her.
I know what you're talking about,
but
I don't
Those
remember.
Two, now they also combine their names, so I love it.
And how did we come up with Jensby? Do you remember? I think it was Vanessa, right? That Vanessa said you should combo both of your names.
Yeah.
So again, you guys, collaborated with one another.
Sometimes someone else sees your talent before you see it, or just tosses a little bit of creativity in there.
So true.
Do you want to?
So Jensby. So this is also the process that you put them through when they join, and this is like the first exercise or part of the first exercises.
For me to get to know them, one thing that stood out with Jennifer was that she likes to stand out. And the reason I could tell is why she wrote her name in 2 different colors. And I said, okay, that's someone that wants to stand out and, wants to be out there. So.
Well, definitely very interesting differences between the two of them, because she likes color. It's like not, I don't know that it's so much. I like to stand out. Yes. But she likes color versus this. You see the bashful one and the outgoing one. So you see the extrovert and the introvert. And it's in very simple things, that you can gauge people's personality.
And I think one of the things that, again, this is a pilot program. I had no clue I had an idea of what we wanted to do, but again, you don't have a cookie cutter. Each child is different. Each child has different experiences, different situations, and different creativity. So the goal was to see what they liked, what their passion was, and they told me something here.
And you know that even if you sing, you can still design.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of it.
Well, my
is
grandma,
that-
she told me that Selena, the singer, she said that she did like designing too,
Yes.
and
yes.
she started singing. So
She
I was
has,
like,
yes.
okay, I want to see if I could do that.
You can do it all.
Yeah, and how I started my song was Miley Cyrus' "The Climb," and you know how she takes out all her feelings out, and she put it in a song, and I was like, okay, I want to see if I could do it with my own song, and I wrote that.
But show her how you started from your book, sweetie, on how you would write.
Frances, she told me, okay, write your feelings every day, but I was like, okay, I'm too busy because I had like to do a talent show the next day after her class. And I started writing about everything I do every day on my feelings, and it starts with boy drama. So here it is. And then I highlighted it to see if I could make a song with those
This
sentences.
is a lot. So
There's
it's like
more on the
journaling.
She
it's like journaling.
She talked about boy drama. Okay, so I said then we need to start writing it because that's how songs are created. They're created off of emotion,
Yes.
off true feelings.
Always.
So if we can
Yes.
get that, what's happening, speaking from the heart, then she's going to come up with something with her boy drama.
Well, you know that, like you just said, a lot of songs are from our own experiences, their own experiences, heartbreaks, falling in love, all of that, or things that happen in our lives, crisis, what happens at school, girl drama, okay? Because it's like girl drama is big. We girls create the boy drama.
Yes.
Can I read it?
Yes,
Do you?
absolutely. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So it's called Boy Drama. So let me see. It says, every day I see a boy walking through the hall. Sometimes I wonder if he wants to talk to me. There was a time when I was alone, nowhere to go and no place to go home. Sometimes I feel happy or mad when I wake up in the morning, feeling overwhelmed because I like this boy. Had a crush on him, and he had a crush on me too. And we started dating. This is where all my boy drama started. I had a crush on this boy, and he knew it, and this all happened at 6th grade camp. 7 months we dated. We broke up because he liked another girl. He told me we needed to break up because he didn't want to hurt my feelings. I cried and cried the day. I felt sad because I really liked him. I liked him because we knew each other since we were little. He was really nice to me. He made me laugh and smile. That is why. Even though we broke up, we still talk. When we talk, I feel happy. The girl that he liked didn't like him back. It made me glad when I found out. She didn't like him. I thought I had hope. He would ask me out again. I would have said yes. Oh, there's more. I was sad when he didn't like me and liked other girls that weren't me. He's a boy with a lot of drama, and happy because I can hang out with him and talk to him. All this boy drama has to stop and just pick one.
There's some work in that we need to do.
Guess what? I go through the same thing too. There's always the boy that likes the girl that doesn't like the boy. You like another boy. So it happens even in the adult world. Those things don't change. But you both are very brave to really just put it out there, to come on the show and be willing to be vulnerable, to let people know what's inside your heart and what's inside your head, your little Grace. She's like, oh my God, I'm on online radio.
Now everybody's going to know your boy drama, Jennifer.
That's okay. I'm with her. I have boy drama too, so we all have it. We all have
Right.
it.
And
but
it has
it's
to come out because those are feelings, and we need to let them be able to express their feelings. And again, I think Jennifer has a great opportunity to create her own songs, and she has a lot of passion and a lot of cariño.
Is there any plans for you to like learn to play an instrument? Do you have an interest?
Well, my grandma wants me to play guitar, but I like singing better than
like singing?
playing an instrument.
So, well, wish you lots of success, and you have
Yeah.
a great leader here, and Laura, right? That's her name.
Laura from
And
LBM
Laura
Academy.
Also, you have leaders, and that's what's important is that you have mentors around you
Yeah.
to steer you, in the right direction, and to pick you up when you fall, when you feel like screaming, when
Yeah.
you're stuck, when you have no clarity, because those are some of the things
Right.
that happen that when you don't have clarity in life, you feel like you're stuck and you can't see the forest for the trees. And that's why it's so important to have people around you that can support you, that believe in you more than anything, that they believe in you.
Yeah.
And that can also tell you, hey, that's not really the direction that you need to be going, because a lot of times we get stuck
Right.
on things that we think we should be doing, but the truth is that it's not for you. You'll be beating your head time and again, and then realize that it's not for you, that it's time to move on to the next thing. And I'm sure you experienced some of that when you were working
Absolutely.
on this.
It's a whole different environment. Being an entrepreneur, you have to be out there. You have to prepare yourself. And I commend the girls for preparing themselves. They're also taking a modeling class with Laura Cruz because they have to. Our next stage is going to be pitching.
Yes.
So Vanessa's going to be able to have to learn how to pitch her product, and she's very shy. So we have to work on her shyness
Yes.
because she has to be out there. She has to shine. Jennifer's also a little shy. Well, when I first met her, now she's not that shy. But again, so we're in the process of grooming, and with the academy and the modeling, the photos, it all is going to foster and put them in their self-esteem. We know how important that is, and believing in themselves.
Well, let me tell you, I was extremely shy. And I was one of those that when I would come home from school, and if there was anyone in the living room, any guests, visitors, I would go in through the kitchen, so I would not have to shake hands. So I would not have to greet anyone. Painfully shy, to the point that I would be locked in my room a lot. And that is something that still hasn't changed because it's based on your temperament. I'm still an introvert, and you can bring out that extrovert when you have to. But I like to be alone. I enjoy my time alone because that's how I am creative and how I can recharge. And as much as I love also having, people around me, a team to collaborate with, because that energy, you feed off of that energy.
Right.
But because of my temperament, people wear me out. Some people gain energy from being around people. Other people lose energy from being around people. So knowing yourself is very important. Knowing your personality type and not beating yourself over that. Don't try to become something that you're not, somebody that you're not. In my 20s, I made the decision when I was in sales and I was selling textiles. There were two very bubbly girls that I worked with. And I wanted to be like them. Not exactly like them, but I wanted to pick up some of the characteristics, personality traits that they had. So I just started intentionally practicing that. I wanted to come out of that shyness. And because my parents are both very different temperament. My dad, he's not like the bubbly outgoing, but he's es cariñoso, es muy amoroso.
We
My
saw the
mom
photos.
was a little bit
On your Facebook.
more, just reserved.
Sure.
But that's because my grandmother, my mother's mom, was also very reserved. And my mom wanted to kind of express that love, and she couldn't because my grandmother was not affectionate. So I said, but I want to be affectionate. I want to use terms of endearment. I would not use that, but I would love to hear it. And I had one client that she was always calling me terms of endearment. sweetie, honey, my love, this and that. And I'm like, I have all that in me. And I just started practicing and practicing, and eventually it became natural to me. And the same thing we did with mom. It's like we taught her to say, I love you. Because it was not something that came out naturally of her. So it's work in progress. You know, life, it really, like they say, is not a sprint, it's a marathon. But there are times that you just have to give yourself that break, that latitude, and not be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up, because it'll come. Your moment will come, and you'll know when you're ready for that. But what is important is what you're doing right now, is that you're preparing. You are preparing, and that it's so, let me tell you, so many individuals don't have that opportunity that you have right now to be exposed to this, to take modeling, singing, public speaking, presentation, pitch skills. You are very fortunate that you have Frances and you have Laura, and your parents have decided to say, you know, go for it. Yes, the parents play a big role in what we become, because if someone doesn't believe in you or they want to keep you stuck, that becomes such a hindrance, and it affects you. But now what you're doing will inspire others, and you can tell others, and that's kind of how it works. That's how things go viral, is when you start sharing your experience and you see the changes. Like sometimes you may not see it immediately, and you just look at yourself 6 months from now or a year from now, and you're going to say, oh my God, that was me. It's like, to me, public speaking, still, like, radio is great. It's fun because it's us here, like, having a conversation amongst girls. So when I came to promote an event and I was asked to do radio the very next day, the CEO, who has a good eye for, you know, for talent, and I almost said no, because I do not like the public speaking part. So then it's like, well, it's just you and the mic. And I thought, well, what's the worst that can happen? I have a lot of information and knowledge to share. So I did it. I liked it. And then eventually I loved it. And I pretended that every single show was like I'm giving a seminar. I'm sharing knowledge.
And that's how we prepare the girls. It's like you're talking to Tia Cecilia
Yes.
so they would feel more relaxed. Again, they were nervous. I mean, this is their first interview, and I'm very proud of them that, you know, they woke up early, and we took advantage of this amazing opportunity with Cecilia to have the opportunity to show what they have been working on.
And it's good that they know that, you know, when my first show, I used to be up at 4 in the morning because the show was at 6 in the morning. So between the prepping, the makeup, the drive, all that stuff, I was up at 4. But before every show, there's prepping, and she knows that we were back and forth, you know, send me your photo, send me your bio, send me their photos, send me their names, and researching. I always do research. Sometimes it's about the subject that we're going to talk about. Could have been about inventions, and the other times is about, like, my show is 2 hours. So the first hour I prep because I open with a segment, then I have another segment with another collaborator, but everything implies preparation. Definitely. Nothing like preparation, and Frances had to definitely go through a lot of that. So I want to hear about that journey. Like, once you had your prototype, then what?
Well, when I first created the prototype, I knew then that, you know, it's very important that as an inventor to protect your intellectual property. So the next step was filing for a provisional patent, and a provisional patent allows you to secure your patent for 1 year. So you could test the waters to see it's a viable product. I had gone to a competition in Los Angeles, and I got a lot of feedback. It was the first time I got a lot of positive feedback from professionals. And so my provisional patent was about to expire, and I was at the cross point. Wow. Okay, what do I do? And I said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. So I was able to be in contact with a patent agent, because patent attorneys are very expensive. Mm-hmm. On an average, it costs between $10,000 to $15,000 to file for a patent.
Wow.
I ended up meeting someone that's a patent agent, a friend of mine, and thanks to his fees, his reasonable fees, I was able to apply for the patent. And on an average, a patent takes 4 years. And in March of...
To get approved?
Yes.
Wow.
And not every idea submitted to the patent office is accepted. because you have to make sure, even though you don't see it out in the market, sometimes it stays in the book and it never gets manufactured. So it's a 4-year process because they have to make sure that it's not tucked away somewhere and you're infringing on someone else's idea.
I see.
So in March of 2015, I received the patent for hanging secrets.
Yay.
And I brought it today because
beautiful.
Sometimes I show photos and people think it's just like a certificate. They don't realize that it's a patent. And I shared with you the numbers. Only 7% of patents issued in the United States are issued to sole female inventors, and only 0.3% are issued to Latinas.
Less than 1.
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
And being an inventor and an entrepreneur is, like you say, it's a journey. Because not only do you have to convince someone of your idea, because it's a novelty, it's something new. You're telling them, okay, we need to get our bras out of the drawer and hang them in the closet. So you have to demonstrate that. You have to convince them that. And then on top of that, you have to be an entrepreneur because you have to know how to market your product and bring it out there. One of the things too, Cecilia, that my daughter was 21 at the time, and I couldn't believe that after inventing Hanging Secrets, I couldn't come up with a name for it. And I showed it to my daughter. My daughter was studying graphic design, and she says, Frances, the name of your product has to describe what your product does, or you're going to confuse your customers. Mm-hmm. And within 2 minutes, I said, okay, what is it doing? It's hanging my Victoria's Secret bras. And that's how the Hanging Secrets came about. And my daughter was the one that created the logo.
The logo, I remember.
She created the logo.
I remember when we met, it was maybe like two or 3 years ago in San Diego. Yes. And I already knew of you through social media.
Yes.
Yes.
And in December of January, I showed it to my doctor, and she really liked it. She invested in Hanging Secrets, and we formed Ageless, Beautiful, Clever Creations in January, and we've been at it ever since. It's been a journey.
So your own doctor.
Yes.
Became your partner.
Yes.
Isn't that something? And that's also great because finding the right partner, that's another journey.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And so right now, we have our website. We're now on Shopify. When you first start out, you think, okay, you could just put together any website, and then you realize, okay, wait a minute, it has to meet a purpose, and it has to be aligned with all the other social media platforms. So we just upgraded our website. I have a mentor now that's an expert in e-commerce, so I'm really excited now because, again, being an inventor, you don't realize how important and how necessary it is to properly market your product.
So tell me about some of those competitions. Like I know that you participated recently, or maybe you're still there, in a mentorship program that you got through Foundation for Univision, or
yes, it was Posible LA.
Posible LA. You
Yes.
were selected amongst
Yes.
how many?
I believe they said that there were over 1,000 participants that had submitted their ideas, and it was in March of last year. And in May, they selected 44 of the inventors to present their ideas to a panel of judges at the Posible LA event. And that, I believe there was over about 3,000 people that attended that event.
Right.
And during that time, I was able to pitch Hanging Secrets. And at the end of the day, they were going to announce the winners. And they originally had said they were going to select 10, but they said, you know what, they love the ideas, and they selected 12. And in those 12, I was part of the winners with Hanging Secrets. And from there, they had a boot camp training. They put us together with mentors. In fact, that's how I was able to have my mentor now that's helping me with.
In what areas? Is it finance?
Right now, we're
like the mentors were in different trade industries?
Well, the mentor that I got to hooked up, because they asked, what do you need help with? And I said, you know what, we need help in sales and in e-commerce.
Okay.
To create a better website, to have more social media presence, to be on Amazon. Now we're on Amazon. So again, it's just step by step, and from a mentor that's an expert in e-commerce.
So it was specific to what you were needing right at that moment.
Yes, because all the other inventors, everybody was at a different stage in their business. Mm-hmm. Some still had the idea, others had apps, and others had services.
I see.
Yes. So it was an amazing experience, and they're going to bring it back again this year. So there's going to be other opportunities. Whenever there's an opportunity, you have to go get it. Sometimes, we have that little voice in our head that tells us, are you sure you're going to do it? Are you not going to do it? In fact, the Posible LA was for residents of Los Angeles. But I was so excited. I go, you know what? I will move to Pomona. I have a cousin that lives in Pomona.
To make it happen.
To make it happen. Mm-hmm. And after I was there, I told the coordinator, hey, by the way, I'm from San Diego. She says, okay, well, you're just going to have to travel back and forth. I go, I don't care. This is worth it. And I will travel from San Diego to Los Angeles. But again, it was that little voice, Frances, are you going to do this? And I didn't listen to that little voice that always tries to convince us not to do it.
So how have you juggled the traveling and all this training, this journey in the last couple of years with a full-time job?
I start my day. I start my day at 3:15 in the morning, and I end it at 10 o'clock at night because I still have my work at home. Making dinner. But you know what? I'm very fortunate because I have a lot of support at home. My husband is very supportive. My daughter, my son, and I have a lot of family that's very supportive. And when you're in your passion, it's not work. You know that. It's not work. And what I've learned to do also is sometimes you have to say no. And that's really hard for me because, every opportunity I want to get and I want to go after, but you have to bring it in a little and understand what are going to be the most productive outcomes. And sometimes it's okay to say no. Sometimes and you have to, because unless you'll be overwhelmed and you will lose your focus. You have to stay laser focused and understand that this is a journey.
Yes.
And you have to enjoy the journey because it doesn't do you any good if you don't enjoy
And
the journey.
I don't want to end the interview without you mentioning there's a couple of things that you are also involved. One with this guy from Shark Tank, and the other one was that you went through with Gigi Valletta. Or
Lily Hill.
Lily Hill
Yes.
Valletta, American.
It was Project American Dream.
Project American
contest.
Dream, yes.
It was another contest, Project American Dream, and that happened in 2016, last year in December. Again, it was a nationwide and actually ended up an international search, and it was a fast track for Latino inventors to be on HSN.
Yes.
And that was huge because I've been working on this for 9 years, and there was never a specific opportunity for Latino
inventors.
Yes. So on March 13th in 2017, I was live on HSN with Hanging Secrets. That was an amazing
Wow, that's
experience.
a dream. Yes.
That's a dream come true, especially for an inventor, because you never realize that coming from a hand sketch where you are. It was very, very, very emotional, and it was a great opportunity. Again, you need people to help support.
And those were also
inventors.
lessons, because when you and I spoke, you said that to be on HSN, you have to be able to be scalable.
Yes.
And that was a lesson learned there, although you had that opportunity. It's like, can you fulfill, whatever, thousands of pieces?
Right.
Because there's been overnight millionaires at HBC and QVC and HSN.
Right, and
yes.
you have to meet their quota. You have to meet their sales quota. Another opportunity that I'm very happy and excited to share is that I'm one of Damon John's brand ambassador for his new book, Rise and Grind. I love to read, and I've read all his books, so it's an amazing
But that's
experience.
something that you pursued.
Yes.
And that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. It's like you have to be proactive. You have to go
Right.
after. They're not going to come to you. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do,
don't.
because if you're good at promoting yourself and you have someone doing public relations for you and you're constantly on social media pushing it out, or other people will refer you. But other times you have to.
to
Most
go
of the
out
time
there.
you got to go after
Right.
those opportunities. So
Right.
you apply to become
Yes.
one of the ambassadors.
Ambassadors, yes.
And that's another way to get attached to a major brand and
Right.
get your product mentioned out there.
Right, and it's an amazing group because we have a private Facebook, so there's other entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs in that group, so you're able to network. You have a Facebook group of entrepreneurs that you're able to network that understand the rise and grind mentality, and that's awesome. It's a great experience.
Wow. So this has been so wonderful to see these Kidventors, Kidventores.
Yes.
Yes. And congratulations to you, to all of you, to Laura. Thank you, Laura, for
Hola, Laura.
really doing what
Say
you're
hi to
doing.
Laura, you girls.
Yes. And we love to see what happens. How long is this program?
It's 8 weeks. It's 8 sessions. It started January 24th, and it will end on March 14th.
So next year, let's say, or by the end of the year, I want to hear and see what you guys are up to, how things are going, how you're progressing. And she and I stay in touch anyway, so she'll keep me in the loop. But congratulations again. Congratulations to the parents. Thank you so much for what you're doing to support your children. This is so inspirational. And it's wonderful because I know that others are going to look at you and say, wow, look at her, you know, and that you were brave enough to combat your shyness and still show up and get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to drive to Los Angeles. And thank you, Frances. And this is beautiful. And this is only part of, because you have another one.
Yes, the travel version.
The one that you ran out.
Yes, the travel
which is
version.
Good. You have, there's only one, right?
Yes, it's a one compartment and it has pockets in the back, but this is the closet version. And what makes it very unique is this hard plastic. This is what protects the bras from getting damaged, and you're able to put your bathing suits, your bras, your bikinis, and there's a pocket back here where you can put your matching panties.
Panties right here.
And here's where you're able to put your bras. They go right in.
Look at that. And this is how it folds.
Yeah, and it hangs in the closet or over the door.
It's beautiful. I love it. What a great job. Are you manufacturing this in the U.S.?
No, we're not.
So outside of the U.S. So that's another thing you had to learn. Is to go find it so that you can bring it to market.
Yes.
So a lot of steps in between, you know, she kind of summarized it, but it actually is a lot of steps. We also had another inventor here, Norma Rapko Vargas.
Yes, I know who she is. Yes.
And Norma also walked them through a lot of her journey and how challenging it is. You know, it's not all goo goo gaga happiness, but there's a lot of tribulation.
A lot of hard work.
Yeah, behind it.
A lot of hard work and a lot of no's, but you
keep
can't stop.
Going.
You can't stop.
You keep going. Well, until our next inventor, I would like to see more Latinas and more youth inventors. And thank you for tuning in here on Radio Latino Inc. I believe in you. And we will see you next Monday. Hasta la próxima.
Adiós.
Believe in you. No te preocupes por lo que fue. Abre los ojos a lo que vendrá. Sintonízanos la próxima semana a través de radiolatinoinc.com. Believe in you con Cecilia Mota.